Hi, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to give you a tour of my new Excel 50-30-20 budget template. This is a 12-month template, which means you're going to have all 12 months in one worksheet. As you can see, there is a lot in here, but you only really need to fill in a few cells. And then everything else is automated. I'm going to walk you through how you fill the template step by step and what all the automations do. But first I'm just going to talk about a general idea of how it works so you can keep it in mind. So basically you set up your template in the Settings tab. And then you create a budgeting plan for your income, needs, wants and savings for the full 12 months. Here is where you will register and fill in how much income you expect, how much budget you will spend, and the savings goal you want to achieve. The summary table here are going to automatically fill in with your totals. And then each month, whenever you actually receive money or whenever you spend money, you're going to register those transactions in this Transactions tab. Everything in all this one transaction table. And that's all you need to edit. Everything else is automated. The dashboard is completely read-only, except for the period selection option and category selection in this graph. This sheet, it's going to gather information from all 12 months, and then just pull it together in here, and show you graphs and all of your financial information. The annual view dashboard also completely read-only, except for category selection in this graph. This sheet also going to gather information from all 12 months, and then just pull it together in here, and show you graphs for your better visualizations. Now I'm going to walk you through an example of how you fill this out step by step. Let's get into it. The very first thing you're going to do is you're going to set the year in which you want your template to begin. And then you want to set a month. You don't have to start in January if you prefer. You can start in any month that you like, any month that you got the template. Maybe in the middle of the year, it's completely up to you. As you can see here, all the rest of the 11 month will update accordingly. For now I'm going to start in November 2023, and then you choose the currency you will use. There are several choices: USD, pounds, yen, and euro. Or if you just want to use accounting format without any currency sign, you choose the no symbol button. Or if you need other currency, you can contact me on Etsy. Pick any currency symbol. For now I'm going to use $sign. For the initial balance, if you have an amount of money to add at the start of the budgeting period, you can fill it in here. This initial balance will be automatically added to the monthly transaction sheet where you first start filling in the transactions. But if you want to start with zero balance, just leave it like that. Next I'm going to explain to you about the Shift Late Income function. The Shift Late Income feature allows you to solve a problem that you may have encountered when tracking your budget, and that is late monthly income. Because for most people it is a fact that they receive their paycheck or earnings at the end of the month. Rather than considering this income as income for that month and used to cover expenses or savings, it would be better to consider this income as income that you can spend in the following month. Because logically you want to get the money first before you spend it, not the other way around. So if you want to use this feature, just click an active button, and you fill in this box to determine from what date the late income shift starts. Let me show how it's work. Now I'm going to jump to November transaction sheet. If I want to treat my late income, let's say my income from October 25th, 2023, as income for November 2023, I can do this because I activated the Shift Late Income feature. But if I deactivate this feature, I can't do that, because it will create a transaction error in November. You cannot input a transaction date that is earlier or later than the date in November. But if you are not used to getting late income on a daily basis, you can deactivate this feature. Next I'm going to explain to you about the saving rate percentage option. There are two fundamentally different ways to calculate the savings rate in this worksheet. And I think it makes sense to enable whoever used this worksheet to decide which way of calculations is a better fit. Maybe also depending on the situation. Whatever your choice regarding the saving rate, the results will not affect other calculations. This is only used to display the key performance indicator saving rate. For the first option, assuming we have certain amount of disposable income at the beginning of the period, then calculating the savings rate as the percentage of the disposable income that is actually allocated to savings would make the savings rate start at 0% at the beginning of the period, and then gradually increase to final state at the end of the period. While for the second option, when calculating the savings rate as percent of disposable income that has not been allocated to expenses, so far this is switched around. And we start with saving rate 100%, which then slowly decreases over course of the period until it's reached its final state at the end of the period. So, you see, depending on the situation and the actual money flow look like, either one or the other way of the calculations might be better. Let me show how this KPI saving rate works. Now I'm going to jump to November monthly transaction sheet. I'm going to add my income transaction on November 1st, 2023. We choose the type, that is income. Choose the category. And fill in the amount. Now we back to settings sheet. We choose percentage allocated to savings. Just click in here. And then we jump to dashboard again. You see, because we choose the KPI saving rate based on percentage allocated to savings. So at the beginning of the period we start the saving rate with 0%. That is because we haven't put any money into savings yet. Now we back to settings. And choose percentage not allocated to expenses. Just click in this button. And then we jump again to dashboard. Now you can see the difference. Because we choose the KPI saving rate based on percent of income not allocated to expenses. Then at the beginning of the period we will start with a 100% savings rate. And that because we haven't spent our money yet. I hope you can better understand the function of this KPI saving rate. For the next step we're going to create a plan for the entire year. So we go jump to it. Okay. Let's do this. You're going to start in this column right here. So, in income source category, you can add employment income source. If you have side hustle you can add too. If you get some interest or dividend from your saving account or investments you can add that. Because there are no subcategories you can fill in subcategories or main categories in here. It's all up to you. Okay, let me fill in this income sources first. To make it easier for those of you who are not used to using Excel, I made this add button and delete buttons for you. If you need more rows for your income categories, all you need to do just click the add button. As you can see it will add 1 rows at the bottom of the income table. There are 4 tables in the sheet. Income, needs, wants, and savings. You can add up to 100 categories for all tables. What I mean is, if you use 30 category for needs table, it means that you have 70 more left for the others category. Just use the add button in each table to add categories. And for the delete button. If you clicked it's going to delete the last rows in the income table. I should warn you before you delete something in this income table. There is no undo for this action. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the needs. In this section you're gonna think about all your individual expenses categories. For example you can add rent, groceries, insurance, household, pets, and health. Okay, let me fill in this needs categories. Next we will fill in the wants category. In this wants category you're gonna think are things that are nice to have but not absolutely necessary. Such as entertainment or gym memberships, beauty, fund and miscellaneous, home improvement, etc. Let's move to the last section here, and that is savings and debt category section. The savings section can then be used to planning your contribution to both long-term savings, investments or extra payments on debts. But also can be used to planning short-term savings conditions in the form of sinking fund that will help you to systematically save towards your future expenses. Or you can add sinking fund down payment in this section. Only in the needs and wants and savings section I added a due day element. This feature will help to remind you if there are category that are due or even if there are category or debt payments that are past due. You can see this feature on the reminder widget on the dashboard and in each monthly transaction sheet. Now that we have finished creating all the categories for all the sections, we can start planning to filling in the amounts. Every additional dollar in income that you expected for a month will increase the amount to be allocated in that same month. Every dollar allocated to the needs and wants category will decrease the amount left to be allocated. And last for savings section. After you have planned for all your needs and wants, you know exactly how much to be left for your savings and debt repayment. The goal should be to plan the contribution base on your saving priorities. Until the amount left to be allocated is exactly 0. Which mean now you have planned for every single dollar of your disposable income. And now your budget plan for that month is completed. But in real life not every month is the same. And for many categories planning the exact same amount for each month is not realistic. This template does not force you to create one starting budget plan that has to be used for every month. But instead allow you to create a realistic multi-period budget plan on one single worksheet in basically no time. Let me show you how you can expand this budget plan for the whole year. In case all income position will stay the same on each month, then planning the remaining month is done in a second using the autocomplete handle. But if you have a little bit more variety in your monthly income, you can planning as you like in this template. So for example, you know that will be a level shift for your salary throughout promotion. Just fill in the amount, maybe start from April. Then you have income category that you expect to stay the same level each month. Just use the autocomplete handle to fill in. Just put the mouse pointer over the bottom right-hand corner of the cell until it's a black plus sign. Click and hold the left mouse button, and drag the plus sign over the cells you want to fill. And third income will be different every single month. All of this can be portrayed in your budget plan. For the expenses, you can plan regular expenses ahead just as easy. For the savings section, you can now plan the allocation of the remaining amount available in each month. Here it makes sense to go ahead with accordance with your personal priority. If, for example, your emergency fund is still $3,000 shorter than the amount you feel safe with, you can prioritize that in allocated a $1,000 for the first 3 months. Since the plan budget for this position goes to 0 after that, you will have more capital available for more savings category. Based on your priorities, you can then go through all further positions and decide if you want to have constant amount allocated each month. If you want to increase position once more money available for savings, or even start allocation to new category once you have additional free resources to do so. What crucial in the end is that for each month you have a plan for every available dollar from your income stream, so that the amount left to be allocated is exactly 0, and the green check mark at the top is visible. When we jump to the monthly transaction sheet, all the defined categories and planned budget amount are instantly available. On the left side you see the sort of breakdown categories that dynamically grows and shrink as you add or remove categories on budget planning sheet. As you can see in the top right corner of the monthly transaction sheet, there is a reminder widget. Because you have determined the due date for need, wants, and saving category, the information is now available too. If today is November 24th, 2023, there is one reminder for this week. And in the notification section there are 5 categories that are past due. You can click here to see what categories are past due. And if we move to the dashboard sheet, you can also see the same reminder widget as the one in the monthly transaction sheet. Okay, after you have finished making a budget plan, what you need to do now is record all your income and spending in the monthly transaction sheet. For a new entry, you simply need to enter the date. Select the type as either income, needs, wants, or savings. And based on which type you have selected, all the previously defined categories of that type will become selectable in that category drop-down. Finally, you can enter the amount as an absolute number. And enter the details information if you prefer. And then you have payment method. You need to add your own element for payment method in settings tabs. You can add anything you want, so I'm gonna add some here. So, now for each transaction you can add payment method, except for income. Whatever the type you select, the category drop-down will always automatically adjust its list of values. As you add records for different types, you will notice that the amount is automatically formatted to visually differentiate between income on the left, and the allocation of income to either needs, wants, or savings on the right. If you see the breakdown on the right, you perfectly see how every new record instantly updates the respect actual amount of this period. In that breakdown, the categories are automatically sorted by actual amount as the primary and budgeted amount as secondary sorting criterion. And you always instantly know which percentage of the budget you have already tracked and how much of the budget is still remaining for each category and type. The balance column will always keep actual money flows up until the date of respected record. A positive or negative amount in that tracking amount balance should be reflected in the main bank account for which your money flows from income to needs, wants, and savings. These balances are calculated in a way that is completely robust against any sorting or filtering in the table. That means you can easily add a new record that chronologically should be placed right before the existing record. The balance of this new record and all later records is still calculated correctly. We can then bring this record to chronologically correct position by sorting the date column from oldest to newest. Now, after completing the monthly transaction for November, I will explain everything. If you get an error like this, it's because you haven't assigned a category to the record you created. This error will also be visible in the annual view sheet. But after you fix it, it will definitely disappear and all calculations will return to normal. Next, you can see that the latest tracking balance in the table is the same as the available balance at the top of this sheet, as well as the total income is the same as that recorded in the breakdown table. Now I will explain about the rollover function. Basically, the rollover function is included So, you can use it as rollover budget, or you take the money that what is left from previous month. Or you can use it as zero base budget and only budget from this month. To make your budgeting more accurate, I suggested using this rollover function. To activate it, you just have to check this box. If we look at December tabs, the balance from the previous month will automatically be calculated in the following month. This will also be visible in the annual view sheet in the annual total table. As you can see, the numbers appear. And here you can also see that available balance is equal to actual amount left. For the illustration in this annual view dashboard, I will use a complete template with 12 months of data to provide a better visualization for you. Because this is a 12-month template in one worksheet, it will definitely be easier for you if you get a summary for 12 months like the one in this annual view. At the top of this section you can see your latest tracking balance, total income, total spending. In this middle section you can see the actual rate of your needs, wants and savings. In this annual total section you can also see the months with the highest and also the lowest amount. If you want to see the summary of November, for example, in more detail, you can click on the name of the month, then you will be directed to the summary section in this sheet. From here you can click back to top to go back. Next you will see the annual breakdown section. These are all the categories that have been created in the budget planning sheet and have been sorted based on the highest actual amount. Next, if we move to the right a little, you will find a summary of income and spending for 12 months. Next to it you can see the visualization through a comparison graph of income versus spending. Next you can see payment method summary, and here you will also get an annual money distribution chart. This graph can help you explain where all your money is spent. If we scroll down a bit, you can see the actual versus budget chart for all types. You can interact with this chart by selecting which type you want to display. Next to it you can also see a growth graph. This graph is important. With this graph you can find out the growth of your income, what percentage growth in your expenses, and what percentage growth in your savings. Next, you can see a comparison table of expected versus actual for all types for 12 months. I also made a ranking from 1 to 12 of the actual amount in all types of tables, so you can find out which month your income was highest to lowest, as well as for other types. We have reached the end of this video. Before ending, I want to explain the last one sheet in this template, and that is the annual transactions log. In this sheet, all your monthly transactions are combined into one table. This will make it easier for you to find the data you want, or to filter data based on certain types or categories. If you want to search for data, just type here, for example, cash. Then everything that contains the word cash will be filtered in the next table. I hope this annual transaction log can help you and make it easier for you to track your transactions every time you access this sheet. Then automatically all transaction data for 12 months will be updated in this table. It might seem like a lot, but in this template you only need to edit a few cells, do a few settings, make a budget plan for your income, needs, wants, and your savings goal. And every time you get money or spend money you only need to input it in the monthly transaction sheet according to the month. And the rest is all automatically calculated for you. I hope that you found this is useful, and I hope you like this. And if you already purchases this template, and you still have questions, remember that in the package you purchases you also receive instructions in a PDF. And if you look at the support section from there you'll know how to contact me. And I will be happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.